turn the lights off. You want this worldwide news hat?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Rolling. Hey everyone, welcome back to week. Reporting live from my living room. This is all over the place right now. Okay. Is audio even rolling? I'm just gonna start over. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Christina Alabato, back for another weekly vlog check-in. For those of you that are just finding my I was gonna say station, like this is a TV station. For those of you just finding my YouTube channel, my name is Christina Alabato. I am an actor based in New York City. I do TV and film, I do Broadway, I do voiceover, and I'm doing a weekly actor check-in vlog where I tell you about how my week was as a working actor in New York City. I talk about my wins and my frustrations of the week, my auditions, what I've been up to, and I love to hear from all of you. And then I take questions afterwards that you all leave in the comments. I heard some great wins last week from all of you in the comments. Again, comment below. I want to hear your wins from this past week. I heard about callbacks and self-submissions and tech weeks and opening nights. So exciting. Great stuff, y'all. I know some of you also had stressful weeks, but we're happy to be busy. We are happy and blessed to be working. So we'll look at it always from the lens of like gratefulness and gratitude, although sometimes it can be annoying. So I understand. Anyway, welcome if you haven't been here. Let's talk about our week. I'm looking at the week of this last week, which was week of October 31st, Halloween, through November 6th, which is today, Sunday. How were your weeks? Let's talk about mine. I want to hear about yours. So for my week, continuation from last week's vlog, I shot the last week of my feature film called The Zombie Wedding. We wrapped last night, finished shooting the movie. It was really an amazing time. This week was crazy stressful on the movie because we were trying to get everything done. We had a lot of group scenes, which meant a lot of the cast was in at the same time, which meant there was a lot going on, but we got everything done. The movie is going to be spectacular. I had the absolute greatest time ever. I already miss it. It feels like a theater show ended. Like, I feel like I got really close to the cast and the crew and the creatives, and I really am going to miss them dearly. I'm sad it's over, but I'm so excited to see it and to see what the life is for The Zombie Wedding. I will always keep you posted when I know what's happening with the movie, as I am very proud and excited to be a part of it. And it's just so funny and silly, and I think you're gonna love it. So that was most of my week last week, was shooting The Zombie Wedding. I was on set Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of last week. So 5 days on set. I wrapped on Friday, and I traveled on Saturday to come back home. I did miss home, so I'm like really happy to be home, but I also already miss shooting the movie. So 5 days on set, again, so grateful. That was a main part of my week last week. Let's see, what else? Let's talk about auditions. I had 4 voiceover auditions, 2 animation and 2 commercial. And then I got 2 legit auditions, 2 musicals actually, which I haven't done theater auditions in a while. I just taped one before this. I will say, y'all, like, musical theater auditions on tape are so annoying. I am so trying to get used to it and like get over it, but like singing on tape is really hard because you can hear all your little flaws, but then the thing I will remind you of is that everybody has flaws, right? None of us are perfect with our voices or with how we're doing things. So I think today I did a good job of just doing it a couple of times and letting it go, but like it does like put you in a weird spot. So just like know that you're not alone if you get frustrated when you're recording songs, especially those of you that are doing pre-screens for college. Give yourself the grace of like, do it a couple of times. Like I said last week, perfection is not attainable. Allow yourself to like have fun and just feel it, and don't watch and scrutinize yourself. Again, if something is really wrong with your take, do it again. But if it's little nitpicky things, just everyone has something that they wish they could do better in the song on the tape, and you're never gonna get a perfect take. So just let it be. I actually had a lot of fun doing this one. It was a really fun song to sing, and I had a great time doing the scenes with my scene partner, Bob. Thanks, Bob. He's ignoring me. Anyway, and then I have another musical theater audition that I'm gonna do tomorrow that I'm gonna learn after this tape. So I had those 2 musical theater auditions, which were great. I think I had 2 private coachings, which were awesome, and always, you know, I'm so grateful for, as I always say, literally every week. And that was kind of it. So that was my week. Yesterday I traveled home, which was great. And I went to my friend's wedding shower, which was wonderful. And then today was a lot of catch up. I'm doing my YouTube video for content, and I did my audition. And then I'm gonna do 2 voiceovers after this. So that was my week as far as working. I'm gonna go to questions. This one's gonna be a little bit shorter this week just because I have to go finish up my auditions and learn my next one. I'm gonna be making a video later in the week about auditioning for musical theater. I got a lot of comments and questions about that, and I did in my DMs as well on Instagram. So I'll make a video about auditioning and MT auditions in general for college. Again, I am no expert in any of this. Nobody really is, but I think I have some good things to help you feel strong and motivated and moving forward in your auditions versus feeling like totally bogged down by them. So I'll do an audition video later this week, but keep the questions coming. Also, side note, I got this really cool hat from Weekly World News, who are the producers of our movie. Does anyone remember Weekly World News? It was like a publication back in the 90s, I think. The world's only reliable news, that did funny like sci-fi cover, like fake covers on like a newspaper. I always used to see it in the grocery store when I was younger. They notoriously created Bat Boy, so they actually are producing The Zombie Wedding, which is so fun. So I have my cute hat. Okay, first question is from Puzzle Parrot. Hi, Puzzle Parrot. What sorts of red flags do you look for in potential jobs? I think that as far as red flags, I feel privileged in the sense that I work with an agent and a manager. So I have an agent and a manager. If you don't know the difference, let me know. I can explain it next time. But I have like a team of people that help me figure out what I'm auditioning for. They are the ones submitting me for projects. So they kind of like are in charge of that as far as what kinds of jobs they are submitting me for and sending to me. So I feel like anything that's super red flaggy, they are actually catching it on their end before it comes to me. As far as acting jobs that are red flags, for me personally, I'm in the union. So if it's a non-union job, that's a red flag for me, but not because the job is bad, but mainly because I can't do the job because I am union. So that's not a red flag as far as like, if you're non-union, you should be going in for non-union work, only if it's safe though, right? The thing about the union that's great is that it's protecting me on set and in theater. It's 2 separate unions. It's called Actors Equity Association, which is the stage union, and SAG-AFTRA, which is the on-camera and voiceover union. So I do feel protected by my unions in that way as far as red flags, and by my team who's vetting the projects that they're sending to me, like, hey, here's an audition. They don't just send me everything that they get. They are looking at what it is, and if there's a weird thing about it or a weird person attached, or it's unclear if it's union or not union, they probably won't send it to me. But if you have a gut feeling about anything that you're submitting on or that people are asking you to do, always ask questions, right? We can never be wrong with asking a question. You may not get the answer that you want, but I do think that it is our prerogative to stay curious and ask for what we need. And sometimes we won't be able to get everything we need with these jobs, but you can always ask, and then you get to decide if you're willing or not to do what they're asking. That's what I think about that. My question is, this is from Aiden S. Okay, what Aiden said, I think this is applicable to a lot of people. My week has been slow again. I have 3 tests tomorrow and I have to study, but I'm also at rehearsal till 7 every day, so I'll be up till 11 studying. My question is, how do you manage your time when you have to memorize your lines but also have other stuff to do? This is such a good question, Aiden. Such a good question. I think that the misconception, or sometimes the thought is, once I'm done with school, I will have all the time in the world to just work on my lines, whatever. But what's interesting is I actually think that you being in school, having these tests to study for and going to rehearsal and having to figure out when to memorize lines is kind of the best practice for you for when you are out of school and you're here in New York doing your thing, memorizing lines, going to rehearsal. Because what's funny is, for me, I think when I was younger, I was like, okay, you're gonna be an actor. So once you get out of school, you're gonna move to the city and you're just gonna spend all day memorizing your lines and doing your auditions, and then that'll be it. Or you're gonna get that job and you're just gonna be able to focus on the job and you won't be thinking about other things. What's funny is there's a million things going on at all times. So your version of busy, which is you're studying for these tests all day and then you have rehearsal and then you have to sleep and find the time. I do a version of that, and so do a lot of people in New York every day, right? I'm juggling making money. I'm juggling getting enough sleep, spending time with family, doing my auditions, doing my lines if I'm in a show. Sometimes I'll be in a show and also rehearsing a different show during the day. So I will say, this business requires a lot of you, right? You have to be able to kind of juggle a lot of different things. Now, what I think you might get better at as you get older and as you learn to prioritize, I'm still working on this, is what you need to prioritize more than others, right? And when you need to say, no, this is too much, right? This is too much. I can't handle all of this. I need to take a step back. That is something that comes with learning what you can and can't handle. You can't really know how much is too much until you've had too much, right? So I do think that over time, you get better at prioritizing what you need to be able to memorize your lines, what you need to be able to ace those tests, right? And nobody can really tell you for you what you can or can't handle, but it's sort of trial and error, right? I think right now it's okay to feel overwhelmed. You're juggling school and rehearsal. That's a lot. I did that all of high school. I completely know where you're coming from, or college if you're in college. I understand that schedule. It's crazy. You have to focus on school and do well, but then you also have to do rehearsal and memorize lines and know your blocking, and you also have to sleep and you have to study for your tests. I mean, it's a lot. So I'm not saying it's not a lot, but I will say it's good practice. Just practice getting it done. Make a checklist if you need to. If you need to memorize lines, memorize your lines. A great trick for memorizing is read them before you go to bed and then get some sleep. I will say I never ever give up sleep. That is very important to me. That to me allows me to do all that stuff you're juggling during the day better if I get sleep. If I don't have sleep, I'm a total mess. So I do prioritize sleep, even if that means, okay, I'm gonna look at these lines once. I should look at these lines for an hour, but you know what? I need the hour of sleep to then tomorrow ingest the lines. So it's like prioritize, right? And when I really feel like I don't have time, I just have to make time, whether that be, I'm gonna have to not watch this show I really wanted to watch, or I'm gonna have to, instead of hanging out with my friends at lunch, I'm gonna have to sit and memorize these lines, right? It is a balance, and you can't just say all or nothing, because you have to have balance in life, but sometimes you will have to prioritize, especially if it's getting close to tech week or close to opening. Okay, I really have to focus on these lines. Or if it's close to the test, okay, I'm gonna have to study for this test really, really hard. So it's kind of stuff like that. It's tricky though, and I'm not saying it's not tricky. It's hard. It's also tricky when you get into the world out of school. You're juggling a billion things too. So almost see it as like maybe practice or something. And remember to take breaks and rest. It's very important, even if it's this much rest. Rest, recuperate, re-energize. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. I hope you had a great week. I want to hear all about it. Tell me everything. I had mainly wins this week because I had a great week with my movie. I will say the tough part about this week was saying goodbye to the movie, and I know that I'm going to feel it next week. It's just like closing a show. It kind of hurts a little bit, and it feels deflating, like something has ended and it's major, which it is, and then I'm like, well, now I have nothing to do. So like this coming up week, not much coming up. So we'll see what is up the docket, back to like not knowing what's gonna be happening, which is why it's nice when I have a couple of weeks of schedule. It's just nice to give myself the break of like, okay, what's gonna happen this week? So this week is gonna be a mystery to me. I hope that it goes well, and I hope that I stay focused and patient. And I wish that for all of you as well. Those of you that had stressful weeks this week, I wish you a better week this week. Opening shows, happy opening, and let me know how everything is going in the comments. And I'll see you next week. So next week starts tomorrow. We're looking at November 7th through 13th. I wish you the best November 7th through 13th. What will I leave you with this week? This week I'm gonna leave you with, remember to rest. I think that I have to remember that this week because I think I'm going to have a lot of rest this week because I won't be working. And I need to remember that it's okay to take a break and take a rest and take a breather to then get back into the game feeling, like I said, rejuvenated, recuperated, and re-energized, and not bogged down by the business. So remember to take a breather, take a rest, even if it's for a second, and then get back up there and work. So let's work this week. Can't wait. Thank you all so much for watching. Pass this video around. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I'll see you next week for another actor check-in vlog. Check back on my channel soon. I'm going to be releasing other videos as well and not just these vlogs. And thank you so much for tuning in. Love you all.